All right, you guys ready?
Yep. Yeah, I am.
Welcome to Anything New. My name is Pete, and as always, I'm here with Matt
What's up?
and Opie.
Hey guys, what's up?
Anything New is the podcast where we talk about anything new we've been using, perusing, or consuming. This is episode 18. A day late. We had a little bit of recording issues last night. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Warner Brothers, some big information on them and what they're releasing next year. Matt finished a new series. Well, not a new series, but he finished a series that he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
But first, Mandalorian on Friday night. I think this was the first time I actually watched it on the day it was released because I was
Really?
so hyped about it. And well, I had heard that there were some spoilers that were released online.
Yeah.
So I was a little concerned that I was going to get spoiled, so I turned it on Friday night. What did you guys think of the latest episode?
It was good. It was good.
It's
Well,
good.
a little recap I think that we need to say is, so Mando, he's kind
Well,
of
hold on.
like...
Spoilers, right? We're definitely...
Spoiler alert, yes.
Because I was spoiled on Friday morning-ish, like in the late morning, thanks to GameSpot's Twitter. They posted a tweet about what happened and a picture of something that was in it. And I was like, I don't want to see this yet. Give people more than like an hour, to watch
Yes.
it. Most people watch it in the evening or over the weekend.
I was spoiled by a YouTube channel that already posted a video about spoilers after they had watched The Mandalorian, and it gets spoiled.
Yeah, it was a
me.
mess. They definitely need to watch out for like the headlines and little things like that, because just one little like tweet headline can just ruin it for you.
Yeah. So it just would have been nice to have seen that thing during the episode.
Well, let's talk about it.
Because I was completely wrong about it. So yeah, spoilers. If you haven't seen it and don't want to be spoiled, mute us if you're watching us live. Skip ahead if you are listening in the audio version later.
All right. So Mando, he brings... are we going to start calling him Grogu?
Okay. That's his name.
All right. It's just not as cute, in my opinion. Grogu's like...
You're right.
I guess he is. He could be 100 years old. We don't know exactly how old he is, in their years. But so Grogu finally gets delivered to the place where I guess he's going to be found by like the Jedi, right? It's like some sort of ancient ruins.
And that's the idea, yeah.
Right. So he gets there, and it's kind of like supposed to be the meeting place where possibly the Jedi are signaled to kind of come get him, but instead the Empire are notified. So that's kind of odd to begin with, right? That happened.
Well, it's not really, because they were tipped off, right?
Yeah, they were tipped off by the spy on.
On
Tatooine when Mando went to get his ship repaired.
One
of the workers there was a spy. Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Strike that. It wasn't that big.
And he put a homing beacon on the Razor Crest.
That's right. He did. Okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't too obvious, but now Boba Fett tracking them down, that was crazy.
Yeah. No. And him. I mean, hey, I wish I could fit in my clothes from like 20, 25 years ago. He's like he fit right back in his old armor. He put it on. He was rocking and rolling.
Well, he kind of looked a little bit like retired Boba Fett, So that was the big spoiler, right? Was that Boba Fett shows back up.
Yep.
And I would have loved for that to have been a surprise, because I've said on this show more than once, I believe that I'm starting to think that Boba Fett, the big, Tamara Morrison's coming back for Mando season 2, and everybody was all hyped about that. We saw him for a second at the end of episode 1, and that was it. And I said on this show, I'm kind of starting to feel like maybe that's all we were going to get, maybe
I was feeling the same way.
His reappearance was all hype just for a tiny little Easter egg cameo at the end, and I was a little bummed. And then he shows back up. Had I not seen the one tweet from GameSpot, I would have been blown away. It just said something like, something about Boba Fett's return, and it had a picture of him when he was in the Slave One near the end, chasing after the Empire ship, after the Imperial ship.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a screenshot of him. Gotcha. So If I
Yeah.
had seen that one tweet, I would have been blown away
So
because I did not expect him.
And once again, a lot of the action goes down. Mando kind of gets knocked out by the force field around Grogu. He doesn't even get a chance to go down there and help him in the beginning. He's kind of like laying there just knocked out. Like we've talked on the previous shows about how a lot of the action goes down and Mando is nowhere to be found.
Right.
exactly, and it's
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I thought about that. I thought about you saying that. Like, what did he really do? During the mission, like, what's Mando do? But he did kind of jump in. But I mean, I really enjoyed the way that they brought Boba Fett back. Not only brought him back, they brought Slave One back, which is his ship. They went through and explained kind of how his father Jango Fett, it was his armor, and then it was handed down to Boba Fett, and he showed proof that he actually fought with the Mandalorians, during their Civil War times, and he claimed legitimately his armor back, and he got rough with some stormtroopers. What did you guys think about have you ever seen stormtrooper armor shatter like that in any Star Wars thing?
No, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Because it always looks plastic,
Yeah.
and I know it looks like that, but
yeah.
I almost kind of started to think in the realm in the lore of Star Wars that stormtroopers armor is kind of not like plastic, but like is just meant for like very light protection.
Yeah.
But that stuff shattered. Oh, that was so awesome.
So where Boba Fett was hanging out with the Tusken Raiders, I guess, on Tatooine all these years, waiting a chance to get his armor back. He confiscated one of their long rifles that was a sand trooper or a Tusken Raider sniper rifle that he had, and one of their bantha sticks, and that's what he used to just wreak havoc. And I told you guys last episode, like the Ahsoka Tano fight, and some of these guys can go a little bit more action oriented, some martial arts effect, and they really, I guess he's a good actor like that, because he really put on a show as far as like his hand-to-hand combat goes, and just wasting stormtroopers with that bantha stick.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because like you said, you never see that armor just shatter like that.
I feel like we are full on main story quest now for the rest of the season. Now there's only 2 episodes left,
right?
I believe. So it's good that we are on we don't have any more time for side quests,
right?
But it all took place on the shoot, I can't remember the name of the planet, but the one planet Grogu was on the pillar, summoning the Jedi, and that never happened. So also return of Fennec Shand, Ming-Na Wen's character from the first season. So that was kind of cool to see her. She is a badass. Do you guys realize that Ming-Na Wen is she's like 57?
Wow.
And she looks, she's gorgeous, man. I mean, she kicks all kinds of ass. And
what was the backstory on her character from season 1? Refresh my memory.
Mando just met up with her in one of the episodes, and
she got taken out, right?
Yeah, she got taken out, and then a figure, we saw at the very end of that episode, like footsteps walking up to her, and we never really saw the resolution of that until this episode. Now we know who it was and what they did.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I have to go back and look at that because I don't remember that right offhand, because I was having a hard time placing her character and how she related to Mando and Boba Fett at the same time.
And who knew that Mando could, or that Boba Fett could do robotics on people
or repair?
Yeah, that was a little strange, but maybe he took her somewhere.
He's got like a bench in his little cave, he just does like that on the side.
So what did you? So when so Grogu's doing the meditation and the Empire kind of comes down, and this is where I got spoiled. So I got spoiled. I follow a couple toy YouTube channels, and one of the YouTube channels kind of despises Hasbro's Kickstarter program called Hasbro Pulse, and it pretty much, he made a video, and I clicked on it before it didn't really have any signs pointing to what was going to happen, but he was just kind of making fun of like all these huge toys that Hasbro puts out in the episodes, like the sail barge and like Unicron of the Transformers, and some of these huge toys that they put out. Every one of them in the series that they've been in gets destroyed, they get blown up. So apparently, I kind of put two and two together right before the end of the episode and kind of turned it off. And I thought, oh gosh, that's like the Razor Crest is going to get destroyed. So how'd you guys feel about that? Did you think that was like
My heart broke.
it was a pretty sweet ship.
I mean, it's kind of its own character, right? Because
Yeah.
it gets beat all to hell every
Yeah.
episode. In the beginning of the next episode, he's flying it somewhere to get it repaired, only for it to get to beat all to hell again before the end of that episode. And it's a cycle.
It
Yeah.
was literally being strung together by like nets and rope.
Yeah.
And I told you guys, and you guys thought it was kind of out of nowhere, but I think that was a little bit of payback from the end of season 1 when Mando took down his TIE fighter. He kind of zeroed in and wanted to take out his ship, and the shot came from a Star Destroyer, which is a newer class Star Destroyer that we've never seen before. It doesn't really look like anything that's been in the original trilogy. It kind of sort of looks like in episode 3, when they had the huge space battle at the very beginning, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are flying through, all that, those big Republic ships that later turn into Star Destroyers. It kind of looks like those, but I kind of thought it was funny how when Boba Fett was chasing after the Dark Troopers as they jumped down and took Grogu away, which I wasn't really impressed with. I was hoping the Dark Troopers would have been a mutated version of a stormtrooper. Like I thought they were kind of getting the Metachlorians from Grogu to mutate a human and put them in some like souped up armor, but apparently they're all robot, right? Could you tell that from that?
They're droid. They look like swole, roided out battle droids from episode 1, kind of mixed with a stormtrooper. So but I thought they were cool nonetheless. I mean, more of those, please.
But when
think that if they had midichlorians and they had like some force powers, that they'd look a little bit more nimble, like a traditional, like a Darth Maul or something. You know what I mean? Something they looked real stiff and like.
Boba Fett said that the Empire is back, that he saw the Star Destroyer.
Yes.
Now, it's only been 10 years after the death. I mean, I thought the Empire was still hanging around. 5 years?
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
So, I mean, come on. I mean, there's Star Destroyers. I don't... What did you think he meant by that comment? I mean, I don't know how back, like, New Kids on the Block are back. Are they really back? or Backstreet's back? Or whatever? Are they back, or they just, someone just, took a loan out and built had a Star Destroyer or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he should have said the Empire is back versus the Empire is still here. Like he shouldn't have said we, because he died in the Starlight Pit, but the rebellion didn't get them all, which big shocker. The Empire was all over the galaxy, so I'm not surprised that the rebellion didn't get them all. They destroyed the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, and that was their that was victory. Well, that's great, but how many Empire outposts were around the entire galaxy? So it's awesome they destroyed the Death Star, but
yeah,
did you get them all? Are you sure you got them all? No, probably not.
Right.
What's your guys' predictions on what happens next? There's gonna be a rescue mission.
So so Mando's putting together his own version of the Suicide Squad. He's going to get Bill Barr's character. I'm bad with character names, but his character from season 1.
It's going to be a ragtag group, explosive expert. There's going to be the hacker.
So he's putting together a team. I'm putting a team together. What would you think if I told you about the Avenger Initiative? Yeah, that kind of thing. So that's going to be pretty cool. So my idea is that he's going to put together this team of people. Of course, he's got Fennec and Fennec didn't die at the end, did she?
I don't think so.
So he's got her and Boba Fett. I'm worried that he's going to put together a team. They're going to go after Grogu. There's going to be a big fight between the Empire and Mando's team, and Mando still isn't going to do anything, just like he hasn't done in any episode.
I think he'll probably get Cara Dune, and then Carl Weathers. He'll probably get. I don't know if
we'll be driving a getaway.
I think we'll see big drama, big fight. We're going to lose some characters, and then they're going to get pinned down, and then Jedi are going to save them.
Ooh.
I think Grogu put out a signal.
Grogu. He's not a character from Dragon Ball Z. Grogu, not Grogu. I think Grogu's gonna go Super Saiyan, and he's gonna summon a spirit ball at the end and throw it at Majin Buu. And
Kamehameha.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You know, I've read some theories that, and maybe I'm supposed to know that this is where it's going, but you know, there's been some stuff online about we might be seeing how the story of how the Empire was able to clone or revive Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
We then saw in, you know, episode 9, you know, because that was like a big thing, you know, Emperor Palpatine, well, not a big thing because we saw in the trailer, but Emperor Palpatine was back in episode 9. Everybody's like, what? You know, how did that happen? And they did a poor job of explaining it, I thought, in episode 9. So this, you know, the whole thing with the trying to get the blood of Grogu to replicate the Force and put it in these clones or whatever they were, whatever we saw a couple episodes ago when they found that lab. I just wonder if all that somehow is going to tie into Palpatine's return in episode 9.
Right. I don't
think we'll know that this season, but I just wonder if eventually, you know, I'm hoping that we get a live action Admiral Thrawn at some point, since he was name dropped in.
Oh yeah, that is right.
Ago.
They did name drop. Yeah.
Yeah, and he is canon now, so I'm hoping that we get him at some point. And I'm kind of wondering if Moff Gideon is that who he's working for? Thrawn. So that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, because Moff Gideon, he's definitely not the head honcho.
Right.
No.
Yeah, just like Grand Moff Tarkin was, you know, sort of a head guy, but he wasn't the head guy. He was under Vader, who was under the Emperor.
That's what about when Moff Gideon showed Grogu his sword, which I didn't think it was actually. It's not like an actual lightsaber, right?
Yeah, it's a
dark saber.
And he said, "You do you recognize this? You see something like that, right?" He said something. Do you remember this or something like that? Didn't he say something like that to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the dark saber. This is where the audience who has seen Clone Wars and Rebels is going to yell at us, because it has a lot of lore and story in those series. Or I don't know if it's one or both. I'm not sure, but it has a lot of story tied up in the animated shows that I've just flat out never seen.
It does.
So it's not new to the Mandalorian, but I just don't know a lot of the backstory behind it. So
I wonder what he meant by that, though. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
He knows something of his history. Then, you know. Like,
well, I don't know if he meant a dark saber in particular, or just like a saber type sword, like a Jedi would use.
What about do we think Grogu? Because when I saw Grogu throwing around the stormtroopers, I was thinking, oh, Grogu's angry, or he's scared. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. And then you go to the dark side.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh man, is Grogu going to go to the dark side? No, but I mean, it's kind of cool to think, oh man, little baby Yoda.
Surely they would do that, right?
Dark side.
He's like every cute meme on the internet.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know that won't happen, but I think he'll waver maybe a little bit, you know, with his anger or whatever, or his fear, whatever.
What about if he starts talking and it's just like the old Yoda?
I don't know. You know what's cool is thinking back to the Razor Crest being exploded. I don't know if I've still got the Razor Crest Lego down there in that big pile of stuff. I think this episode is going to save me a lot of time putting that together, because I'm just going to dump all the pieces out of the bag.
There you go.
And it's going to be the Razor Crest. You know, that's the episode, whatever this was, version of Razor Crest. So I don't even have to put it together. It's just a big pile of rubble.
Well, we won't have too much time to wait to find out what happens next time. We only got like 5 days, so
yeah,
that'll be nice.
My last question before we move on is, where does Boba Fett's jetpack keep getting the missiles?
That's a good question.
Because Timmy the Elephant's character used it in the first episode of the season. So I'm like, okay, well, that's, you know, there's only one missile in there. You used it. Okay. But then there's another one. So where does it come from? Why did did Mando get another one and refill it? You know, I mean, why would?
Welcome, everybody.
he
My
goes
name is
to, like,
Brendan
the little
Snyder.
weapons
Thank you for
vendor.
joining me.
Like
Yeah, if you're new to my channel
Well,
and you
yeah,
haven't already hit the
he's been on a bunch of side quests. I guess he
of
found a vendor. And,
2020. Now, the
And
band
why
each
would you-
formed
planet
all the
has
way
their
back
own,
in
like, you know,
1983,
currency,
and then it
you know, just like
reached
World of
even
Warcraft.
greater heights.
You know, you gotta go get all those different little
This
things
album
and
here
get
is
your
a
items
double
repaired
album, or
and
at least
stuff,
it's being
and
described as
buy
a
new
double
stuff.
album. We'll get to that in a
It
little bit.
is crazy. I don't know.
The band initially broke up in 2000
Just like all those little dark
and
dudes have,
reformed
like,
in
where's he getting all that stuff from?
2001. They did a
Freaking
reunion tour and
Boba
everything
Fett
with that.
shoots the
And
missile out
in
of his
all,
pack,
the band has
hits the
sold
one ship,
over
which
30 million
crashes into the
albums
other ship. Oh my
worldwide, which
gosh.
brings
Yeah.
us to what we want to
And then
discuss here.
Mando's like, nice
this new
shot.
double album
Boba Fett
called
says, I was
Seer.
aiming for the other one. Oh my
It's the
god, that
11th
was just awesome. I lost. I thought that was hilarious.
I thought it was pretty good. All right,
So
let's
good.
switch gears. We're on about 20 minutes here on Mandalorian, so we need to. Let's see.
Yeah, Dan's
Matt
not going to be able to listen to this podcast at all.
Oh yeah, our buddy Dan, he's so far behind on Mandalorian, so he's going to have to skip through on this one. But Matt wanted to talk about real quick. He finished up a series, and it's a series that I've always been interested in watching.
Me too.
I just never got around to doing it. When I first saw
Oh man.
Into the Badlands,
Yes.
like the previews, I was like, man, this is a show for me. And it's just like one of those shows I just never started watching. But Matt just finished it. Kind of give us your recap on if we should watch it or if you thought it was good.
Yeah, so I finished. If we had recorded this show last night, like we had intended to do, I wouldn't have brought this up because I only finished it today when I was on the treadmill on my lunch break. It's been my treadmill show for the last probably a couple months or so, and I finished it today. And the only reason I even brought it up is because the ending was so good. Like these, especially the last 4 episodes. So I kind of thought that. So there's 3 seasons. I kind of thought the season 3 sort of dragged on a little bit, was a little bit slower. But then the last 4 episodes, it was just like one side was gathering the troops, the good guys basically, gathering the troops to take on the bad guys. And then this last episode was like, so they're like 42 minutes on Netflix, right? The first 10 were like getting, putting together the fellowship, getting ready to take the ring to Mordor. And then the last 32 minutes were all fighting, just big battles, like on the scale of, I don't want to say on the scale of like the big against the White Walkers of Game of Thrones, nothing quite that large, but just it was fantastic. I mean, season 3 sort of delved into the more mystical side of the story, but it kind of got away from just season 1 was just about how this new world was structured with the barons and their little segments of the country and how all that worked, and the main character Sonny trying to get him and his girlfriend and his pregnant girlfriend out, and then season 2 was a little bit different. Season 3 went a lot more into the mystical side of it, but it was really good. So these last 4 episodes were just so good. There was, I won't spoil too much, but there's one character who in the first season is a one of the good guys. Second season kind of loses his way, and by the 3rd season is a full-on bad guy. And you keep waiting for his redemption arc. He never gets one. Like he just goes through this arc of becoming good to becoming pretty much a bad guy, and that's it. There's characters who died that I wasn't happy with, and then characters who died that I was happy with. I mean, there's a lot of stakes, and I actually thought that it wrapped up the series really nicely until the last probably 2 minutes, where they completely set up season 4, but the show was canceled before the season 3 finale, so we never got a season 4. So all the last 2 minutes set up, all this. In 2 minutes, they set up like at least a whole other season's worth of storytelling.
Oh wow!
And then they never got to do it. So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on it real quick because I was really pleased with how the show ended, especially like the last 4 episodes, because it was one of those things where like kind of like Game of Thrones where you've got the Lannisters and the Starks, the North and the South fighting each other. But really, you need to stop that because there's a bigger war over here for the fate of the whole world with the White Walkers. This was a lot like that with like a couple different barons and their people fighting each other, but they really need to stop because there's a whole other group of people who are a whole lot more dangerous that they need to focus on stopping. And we get that battle in these last, probably 3 episodes or so. And it's just, I absolutely recommend you watch the whole thing. Like I said, season 3 in the beginning sort of slows a little bit, but if for nothing else, watch it for like the last 4 episodes because the action was fantastic. The way it ended just drove me crazy. I was on the treadmill over there today throughout the whole episode, like saying, "Oh no, woo, yeah, get it!" I was like screaming at my iPad, watching it while I'm running. I mean, it was. I don't really react to too many shows like that, but it was just really, really good.
Nice.
So I would recommend watching. It's only 3 seasons. I'd fully recommend watching all of it. It's really, really good.
Into the Badlands, and that's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, all 3 seasons are on Netflix. It was an AMC show, but because I think it ended in 2018, so obviously it's all on Netflix now. You can just go watch all of it. And
Did really Netflix produce the last season, or was it all on AMC?
It was always on AMC.
Okay.
It was always on AMC. I believe it was I think season 4 was supposed to come out in 2019, but it was canceled before that. So I think 2018 was the last, or maybe it was either 2017, 2018, sometime in there was the end of season 3, and it just got canceled. But man, actually watch the whole thing, except stop it at the last 2 minutes of the final episode so that you aren't left, essentially blue-balled by not getting any more,
Well, maybe somebody will pick it up, it's kind of happens sometimes.
I don't know, man. I read some stuff on it today, and like back in 2019, the creators were talking about maybe they'd love to try to put a movie together, or maybe even like just a graphic novel or something, just to give us more story. But nothing has happened in close to 2 years now, so I don't know. But man, it was good.
Awesome. We'll have to check that out. Into the Badlands on Netflix, 3 seasons. Awesome. Well, let's stick with the same little theme here with movies, because Warner Brothers had a huge announcement that they're going to release pretty much their entire 2021 lineup, right? On HBO Max at the same time that the theatrical release is going to be. And I mean, I know for me, having HBO Max and not really wanting to go to a movie theater right now, I'm happy about it. I know maybe some of the purists might not be so happy. And certainly the theater companies aren't going to be happy about this.
Right.
But what do you guys think about this?
Yeah, I put this one on the show notes because this podcast is about stuff that's new to us, but this is kind of new news. Plus, it's kind of big us as movie consumers. I just kind of thought I want to talk about it a little bit because it's a big deal. I think this is the first big step. Everybody knew this was inevitable, but I think this is the first big step into a new way for all of us to consume new movies. Now, I don't know if this is gonna be forever, because obviously, one day we're gonna be on the other side of COVID, vaccines, and all that stuff. Who knows when that's gonna be? Not saying it's gonna be next year or the year after that, but eventually. But by then, I wonder if this is gonna be the new normal or what. And I know some movies have been released on demand. You had like Bloodshot and couple Mulan, and so it's here and there throughout 2020. Some movies are really streaming, but this is a big deal because this is Warner Brothers saying we're not even going to mess around with all that. We're not even going to play the wait and see game. Everything that we're putting out, starting with Wonder Woman on Christmas, all through 2021, day and date, theater and HBO Max. It's not going to be a premium fee or anything like that. So I just kind of wonder if this is only going to be a long temporary thing, or if this is going to be the start of kind of like how when Netflix hit, it was a big step in how we changed consuming media, and when now we're all just completely used to it.
Right, because we went from going out and renting videos to streaming our videos or having them sent to our house.
Yeah, I mean, it was if you think about, like, we used to go to Blockbuster, and then we started getting from Redbox, and then now it's like I haven't been to a Redbox in like 2 or 3 years.
No.
And I used to go like all the time.
Yeah, me too.
And now it's just all Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, whatever, and that's just how we do it now. So but we had to start somewhere, and I wonder if this is the start of the new. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, if Warner Brothers said this is how it's going to be from now on, would you and whenever we get to the other side of COVID, would you still go to a theater if you had a movie on HBO Max?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Opie.
No, well, I mean, you know, you got to look at it two ways, and this goes with everything that we talk about on this show, with toys, with movies. It depends on kind of your age, cause man, I mean, Ava, my daughter, just went out to the movies the night before last to see Elf here at our local theater with some friends. Yeah. So of course the COVID restrictions and rules are on, so I don't know how socialized you can be in the theater. I mean, you can't. I don't know. You can't sit right on top of each other, but surely they worked something out. But I love going to the theater. I really do, and I like that theater experience. But man, it's just maybe it'll drive costs down a little bit at the theater. Just some. I mean, because it's rough going to a theater with a family for some people. But it just depends on what you're into, because back when we were younger, it was kind of a thing you did. You take a girl out, you go to the theater, that sort of thing. That was a big attraction to go on a date with. And kids nowadays just don't get out of the house. They don't have to socialize by getting together with each other. So it's going to be, for me, I wasn't at the theater every single weekend, but my big movies, like I've been there for every Star Wars movie, I've been there for every Lord of the Rings movie, anything, most of the Marvel movies I've been there for. And it takes a special movie for me to get out and go, but I'd absolutely love going. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm not too mad about. I mean, I'm more upset just that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to miss out on the theater experience.
Mm-hmm.
I luckily, just in the perfect amount of time, seems like I timed it perfect, kind of put together a little bit of like a home theater room. So I'm a little happy that I'll be able to watch all these movies on that. Because listen to this lineup, okay? Because this isn't just like a Trolls movie that's getting released.
Right.
Trolls.
This is Matrix 4,
Ooh.
Suicide Squad, Dune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Opie, The Many Saints of Newark, that's The Sopranos full motion picture.
Wow.
That comes out next year. That's going to be ridiculous. Godzilla vs. Kong, which that would be awesome to see in a theater. Mortal Kombat. I mean, there's a ton of the new Space Jam movie. There's a ton of movies that we're going to get to see day one, and it's like $15 a month. Isn't that pretty much what it boils down to?
It's included with my cable subscription, so I'm not even paying the fee.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, as far as value goes, and maybe so Warner Brothers, maybe this was like their way to really kickstart HBO Max and kind of get it out there. Don't you kind of think that like now people who maybe just subscribe to like one or two services, like maybe they subscribe to Netflix and Amazon Prime, kind of get it through that they're like, hey, we have to get HBO Max now. Like that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, because I was going to subscribe to HBO Max. I'm gonna, like, any day now I'm going to, because I want to see Wonder Woman. But I was probably gonna be like, I'll probably subscribe for a couple months because I want to see Wonder Woman. There's a couple shows, and then I'll get rid of it. But now it's just like, I'm just gonna keep it. Like, I'm gonna subscribe in a couple days and a couple weeks, and I'm just gonna keep it all year long. So this has become, with this announcement, to me anyway, HBO Max is like a must-have service. So like everybody has Amazon Prime, so everybody's got Prime Video.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's just kind of a no-brainer. But then everybody's got Netflix, right? And you kind of just have to have Netflix. And then Hulu, I use the crap out of Hulu. Opie, you talked about you just canceled it because you didn't use it so much. So Hulu is a little bit more iffy depending on what you watch. But now all of a sudden HBO Max is like, holy crap, I've got to have that, because there's a ton of new movies that I'm going to be able to watch all year long.
Yeah, that's like the cost of like probably 2 movie tickets, right? Like for $15. Like, you and somebody else can't go to a new movie and get a drink and, and sit down and watch a movie for $15. So you're going to get a few movies a month. With all that lineup, there's going to be a bunch of movies coming out each month that you're going to be able to watch.
No, I know some people don't love it because a lot of people are purists and do love the theater experience.
Yeah.
But to those people, I would say, listen, that's fine. You can still go to the movies because it's not like they're saying we are not going to release this in theaters. It's simultaneous. So I think that's an important thing that some people may miss is it's not so much that we can watch it at home. Like we get to choose how we watch it now. If you really love the theater experience, then absolutely. I love the theater experience. I love taking my son on, to see the big movies. We went and saw Godzilla King of the Monsters in IMAX.
Ooh.
And it was incredible because he's a huge Godzilla fan. And it was amazing.
Well, cool.
And I would love
Yeah,
I would love to do that with
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh. Probably 3 years ago, if you'd asked Peyton when the first time he watched, not that one that you're talking about, Matt, but just the one before that, the one
with Bryan Cranston.
Yes,
that movie was awful. No,
he watched that, and my son goes, "That's the greatest movie I've ever seen."
Wow.
I'm like, all right,
dude. King of the Monsters is my son's favorite movie ever. Like he watches that. I can't even tell you how many times he's watched it. But I would love to take him to the theater to see that in IMAX. However, whenever I don't know when it comes out, but I might still not feel comfortable going to the theater, depending on when it is, the vaccines, all that stuff. So I'm glad that we have this choice now. So So I just hope that people think about it, look at it that way. It's not that they're taking the theater experience away from you. They're actually just introducing more choice. So you can absolutely still go see all of these things at the theater. Now, what some people may be mad about though is, well, a lot of people are going to watch it at home, which is going to, drive some theaters into the ground. And that is going to then remove my theater experience because my theater is going to shut down or whatever. So, I don't know. But like you said, maybe it'll just drive down costs. Maybe theaters will just have to start thinking different. Maybe they'll have to start offering incentives. Like I used to love going Tuesday nights when my son was at his mom's house and it was just me sitting here. I would love to go to my movie theaters 5 minutes away from me. For $5, I can walk in, watch a movie, get out of the house, and sit down. I'll just go by myself. And I loved that. So as long as that doesn't go away, then that's fine.
You also got to think of it from the production house's point of view, right? I mean, what are they supposed to do? Sit on these movies until the theaters open back up to capacity? Or are they just supposed to release them in the theater only and have 10 or 15 or 20%, viewership? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to lose money, and then they're not going to be able to make movies. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got to kind of look at it both ways. Like they have to do something to make some money on these, right?
Yeah. Like Black Widow, it's not Warner, but Black Widow's been done in the can for it's supposed to come out in May this year, and it still isn't out.
Totally forgot about Black Widow. I remember seeing the previews and thinking, "Oh crap!"
Yeah. So, like I said, even though it's not Warner Brothers, still like that's a completely finished movie that's just sitting there, and nobody's being able to see it. So it's like at some point you have to put it out. The only thing with this whole thing with Warner HBO Max is like at some point, like I just don't know how they make money because Wonder Woman probably would have brought in close to $1 billion at the box office, and now it's not going to bring in anything like that. All these Dune would have brought in hundreds of millions, and Matrix 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to get anywhere close to all that. So
they're just trying to stay afloat. Just try and recoup what they can, get through all this, and not go bankrupt.
Right. Well, yeah, Warner's not going bankrupt, but it's just, it's
they're owned by AT&T, I believe. I think that's
or does AT&T own Warner or vice versa? Yeah, AT&T owns Warner, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's just like I said, in this may be just for like 20. Maybe they're eventually going to say, okay, once COVID is all done and vaccines are good, we're not wearing masks anymore. Warner may say, okay, we're going back to theater only. That was a fun thing we did. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. Is like, is this going to be the new way?
This is interesting, guys. So I was scrolling through my Instagram while I was listening and we were talking here, and here is an article someone posted. It says Warner Brothers may face lawsuit over Godzilla versus Kong, Dune, and on HBO Max release. It says that according to Variety, Legendary Pictures is considering suing Warner Brothers over its plans to debut Godzilla vs. Kong and Dune on HBO Max. Both of the big budgeted projects were primarily financed by Legendary, yet the production company was kept in the dark on Warner Brothers' plans to release the films on HBO Max.
Ooh, that's the thing I think of too, is the production companies are depending on those box offices to recoup some of this money that they spent on these movies, and now they're not going to get. So, man, that's just a whole level of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to know how all that works, but it makes my head hurt after a while. So
Yeah.
for us, it's super cool, but you know, I don't want this to hurt movies in the long run. So.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the internet age we live in, a lot of people are all about give me everything free, and I don't want to watch ads, and I don't want to pay for anything, and you're supposed to provide this to me because I'm on the internet. Free apps, free whatever, and people just don't know how the sausage is made a lot of times, and it's people have to get paid because there's people working on these projects.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they had released, I wouldn't have minded if it had been like a Mulan Disney Plus thing where they had said, we're going to release everything day and date, home theater and HBO Max, and you can pay a premium of like $20 or $30 to watch each of these. Like, I think that would have been fine too, because then you can decide, is it cheaper to buy, 4 movie tickets for a family, or could we just watch it at home for $30 or whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was pretty big news.
It's huge.
It's unprecedented.
To see how many sales of HBO Max subscriptions. It's going to be a ton. Like it's got.
I probably will be partaking of most of those at home next year, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely until I get the shot.
Right.
All right. Well, let's move on. We don't usually talk a lot about music, but I think
we don't.
No.
Opie's he's kind of been on a music kick lately, and if it's something that he's interested in, it's something that Matt and I are interested in. 'Cause we're a team here.
So a couple of bands that, or an artist and a band that you guys are probably familiar with, being kids of the '90s or whatever. But the Smashing Pumpkins released a new album, and Billie Joe Armstrong, which is the lead singer for Green Day, also released a new album. Now, the Smashing Pumpkins album's called Sear, and it's pretty much just a album they released just a couple of weeks ago, and it hit Spotify, and I had been listening to a couple of the singles just to see how it was and if I liked it or not, and just wanted to talk about it a little bit. Just my first impressions of the album. It's not your high school Smashing Pumpkins. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's definitely not. It's it's a synthetic type of pop. It's not your heavy grunge, 1979 melancholy.
No teen
angst. No teen angst.
No melancholy.
No melancholy. Infinite sadness. Siamese dream.
There's a lot of synthesizer. There's a lot of acoustic guitar. There's a lot of stuff in this album that it will kind of remind you, if you are fans of Angels and Airwaves. There's some of that.
I listened to a lot of this album today, and I get this sort of similarities,
right.
But it's not. It's nowhere. No,
well, actually,
it doesn't sound like Angels.
But anyway, if you're looking for something new, Billy Corgan's been out kind of promoting the album, and they've released a couple of albums within the past couple of years. But he's got 3 of the 4 original members.
He was on Stern last week.
Yeah. Is that the one that he played? Wish You Were
Disarm.
Here. Oh, okay.
Disarm.
Yeah,
acoustic Disarm, and it was really good.
He did Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here too. I watched that on YouTube as well. But if you get a chance to check it out, it's something new that's out there. I'm always going to try to check out bands that I grew up with that I actually love. I love the Smashing Pumpkins back in the 90s. I love that.
Is that Billie Joe Armstrong's first solo album?
Well, Green Day has put out a bunch of projects. There's 3 albums they put out not too long ago, and I'm not real versed on this, so don't hit me up in the comments. But Uno Dos Tres was 3 albums that they put out with individual pictures of the band members on it. Now, I don't know if those were entirely solo albums, but this one is kind of strictly solo. And it's an album of covers, and they're kind of some obscure covers. Some of the ones that you'll recognize if you watch this, and he's released one is I Think We're Alone Now. Remember the Tiffany song in the 80s? He covers that. Yeah, he covers that. And the name of the album, is called No Fun Mondays. And he does a cover of Manic Monday from the Bangles. Now, that one did get released. I don't know if you guys ever saw that video. There's another cover that he does. He covers John Lennon. There's a John Lennon song. And you remember the song Kids in America? The 80s song? We're the kids in America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that was a.
I'm looking at it on Apple Music. It says number 5 is That Thing You Do, like from the movie, right?
Yeah, from the movie.
What?
Great song.
So I love Green Day. It's not your 90s Green Day. It's not Dookie by any means, but it's something new that comes from an artist that I like. Right.
Billie Joe like this when he's singing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I kind of
looks away from the.
I kind of wrote Green Day off a little bit, kind of after they kind of went real political there for a while, and I kind of quit listening to them so much and following them so much.
Around American Idiot.
Yeah, American Idiot was probably the last one I really focused on and bought, but anything after that. But they put out some projects since then. But yeah, if you get a chance to check out those 2 albums, it's something that's came out this year, and I'm always looking for music. Like I said, I'll listen to anything. I mean, I told you guys about Machine Gun Kelly on this podcast, so
yeah, you did.
It's still one I listen to, but maybe
probably the reason why he has a good career now is because you mentioned it.
That's
like
right.
you woke up the world to his new music.
Didn't have anything to do with it.
Kind of one of those things that happens when it gets mentioned on our show.
That's right.
Things just tend to blow up.
Influencers.
So I was going to give them a big bump in their Spotify playlist, so they'll cut me in on that that you guys start listening to. But yeah, so those 2 albums, Smashing Pumpkins, Sear, and that's spelled C-Y-R.
I thought maybe it was Sir.
Sear. From all the reviews I've watched, it's pronounced Sear. And then Billie Joe Armstrong, No Fun Mondays.
Just another No Fun Monday.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's roll right into your pickups. This is the part of the show, guys, where we like to talk about anything that we picked up during the week. We're kind of collectors on a lot of different things, if you didn't know. And so
I'm a gatherer of fun gems and
antiquities.
Right.
No, so I stopped in one of my getting places, and it seems like every time I'm driving home from work, and I go to a couple of getting places on the way home from work, I kind of debate on whether I want to stop today or not in one of these. This, for some reason, I made myself stop and go in this one place. And
you got to go every day if you want to get
go
the
every
deals.
Day. That's my slogan.
That's the rule.
You got to go every day. So I kind of hinted.
When you walk in, is there like an old lady, like Myrtle behind the counter?
Yeah, it's like here he is again.
Opey.
No, I do know one.
Transformer, Decepticon, G.I. Joe for you.
No, I think honestly I make them mark stuff up because they'll know I'll buy it or something if I come in there. So, that sort of thing. So, on a previous episode, you guys remember me telling you that I got a DVD that completed a collection that I had been looking for a long time. Remember my Lord of the Rings extended edition?
Yes.
And I told you guys I've been seeing the VHS of the Fellowship of the Ring, and I've never seen the Two Towers, or I'd never seen the Return of the King. Well, I found the Two Towers, and I went ahead and picked up the Fellowship of the Ring. So I got these 2 on VHS. So
nice.
I literally one away from having this trilogy on VHS, DVD, extended DVD, and Blu-ray. So I don't know why I do that sort of thing.
Now those are not the extended editions because I don't think those would even fit
No,
on a VHS.
those are just the normal, and I think they're. Can you do widescreen in the VHS days? You remember it was called letterbox. You remember that? If you got a VHS, you had to make sure that it was letterbox or whatever, because that was kind of the quote unquote widescreen, which I really don't think we had widescreens back when VHS was around.
Yeah, no,
at
totally
all.
not.
So anyway,
And it's like, I was like, oh man, it's stupid. It's gonna have the black bars.
So
and now like, that's what we want.
In this same getting place, in the middle of nowhere, I found 2/3 of my Grail VHS finds, and I mentioned this in passing, but I found the Fox version of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I've been looking for this forever in the wild. I know everybody in the comments, you can buy this on eBay all day long, but this is the Fox video version. They didn't have Star Wars. They didn't have A New Hope. I looked all over the place for it.
So that is the non
yes,
George Lucas-ified.
Yes, this is the one that came out if you wanted this on VHS when we were young, before the 90s redid it, this is the one you would get. Now, I honestly think there was another one, and Travis might even be able to tell us on this, that Columbia House branded, that you could get from Columbia House, and I think it even said Columbia House. And Columbia House back in the day, if you're listening, was a media service where you could buy CDs or movies over in the mail, and they would send you so many a month, and you would get subscription for it or whatever. But these two, I'd been looking for, because in the 90s, remember that when you could buy the trilogy, and I should have brought it over here, but it's the trilogy with the picture of the Stormtrooper, the picture of Darth Vader, and the picture of Yoda on the front of each one, and that was the untouched one. That was previously the only version you could get untouched. Now anything after that were the reissues, the enhanced, they would say, ones. But I was so happy. This is my all-time favorite covers. These are my all-time favorite posters.
Yeah,
I love this Empire. This is my favorite Empire poster.
Those are much more dynamic than just the faces.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so good. And, these are minus, like if you got the ones in the 90s, they would have those interviews with George Lucas before each one. You remember he would do that little interview in the beginning. There was that movie critic that was pretty well known, that would do a interview with him, but I think these don't have it. But I'm going to put them in and make sure they work and watch those. But these are my grails. There's also a box that comes with this too, so hopefully maybe some of our viewers will mail me some and help me find
I have the one that's like the gold outside box with like Vader's face on it. That's I guess the Lucas ones.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Do you have that one too?
Yep. I've got those sealed. I found those sealed. They've never been opened, so I've got those as well.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me this week.
Awesome. Well, that's some good pickups. Matt, what you got?
Well, if we had done this yesterday, it would have been a lot smaller, but I'm going to try to run through it really quick, and I've got to. So yeah, I'm just gonna sort of lightning round. All right. So last week I told you guys about I got the first volume of Something Is Killing the Children. So now I got the second volume, right? So issues 6 through 10. So maybe we'll find out what is killing the children. I got a book. This was an impulse buy after seeing it on a YouTube video. So we can never yell. I can never yell at my kid for wanting everything he sees on YouTube, because I saw this on YouTube. It's called Lady Killer. It's not an omnibus, but this is called a library edition. So you can see, like, this is like a normal size. You can see it's like taller, right?
Yeah.
So these library editions, this is a book about basically this woman is a picture perfect homemaker, wife, and mother, and she's also like a ruthless assassin.
Nice.
I've never even heard of this until a video I was watching about something else, and it sounded awesome. So
does the art in the book look like the cover? Is that kind of the?
Yes, it's gorgeous. Cool. Like I was hoping I could find like a big action scene.
Kind of something.
Oh different. Yeah, here you go. Here, I haven't really stretched the spine, but I'll try to show you. Like, see that she's stabbing that dude in the neck. Whoa. She's like a housewife, but she's also like an assassin. So
those are the best kind.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I picked up Batman, Their Dark Designs. This is the reprints Batman, or collects Batman 85 through 94. This is the first 10 issues of James Tynion's run on Batman, which I've been wanting to I've been wanting to start catching up on the physical single issues, and it's too far to go back, so I'm going to get this and the next one, and then I can do singles after that. This isn't an omnibus; it just collects like 10 issues.
Oh, guys, real quick, don't mean to interrupt, but you know how much I paid for those VHS? $0.25.
What?
Oh my god!
Each or all of them?
Each.
Whoa!
$0.25 each.
I don't know. $0.25 for both would have been a better deal.
No.
I should have haggled. Yeah,
You should have haggled them a little bit. So what is an omnibus, though, is I went ahead and picked up the new Teen Titans Volume 2 omnibus. There's 4 of these out right now. The 5th one comes out next year. I'd like to get all of them, but I got this one because it was like half off on Amazon or something. So I went ahead and got this one. And then speaking of omnibuses, I got the Infinity War omnibus. This is the event that happened after the Infinity Gauntlet, which is very loosely what the Infinity War movie was based on. So the Infinity War movie isn't based on this story. It was based on loosely based on Infinity Gauntlet. This was the event after that. And then the third event called Infinity Crusade comes out next year that I've already got pre-ordered. So I went ahead and picked this one up too. And then it seems like I go on a shopping spree every week. I don't. I order this stuff at all different times. But they all come all at the same time, and because we do this show once a week, it looks like it's
Are you getting those at your LCS?
No, these ones these omnibuses I'm getting on Amazon, but I really do want to support my comic book store because they're fantastic. So I'm going to start talking to them about ordering these things through them.
See, I learned LCS.
Yeah, local comic book shop. Yep, there you go. And then I've been reading Charles Soule's run on Daredevil from about 5 years ago, and that series half of that series features him in a black suit. And the stories are awesome, and I really kind of like the black suit. And I was looking on Amazon for something else and came across this Marvel Legends Daredevil in the black suit. So I'm gonna open this guy because the box is kind of like jacked up around here. I just wanted a Daredevil in the black suit, so I thought that was pretty cool. So had we done this yesterday, that would have been it. But then I got a notification on my phone that some comics I got from eBay came in. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I need to walk out to the porch and get them. Walk out to the porch to get my box of comics that I got on eBay, which I won't show those. It's just a stack of comics. And then there was that plus 3 more boxes. And I was like, what is all this? What are all these boxes? So one of them was a big Target box. I was like, what did I order from Target in such a big box? Well, it was a big box that held these 2 guys, the Spider-Man Retro,
nice,
the Negative Spider-Man, and the Cyborg Spider-Man.
Oh, the cards look good. Target did a good job.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised though because they didn't have a whole lot of padding in there, but the box was huge. So those guys are cool. And then the last 2 boxes were from the return address was this little place in Somerset, Kentucky. The guy's name is Opey. My buddy over there, Opey, sent me 2 fun boxes.
Filled up your fun box.
Yeah, he filled my fun box good. I put them all in one box. So the first thing I opened up was I don't even know what this is, Opie. This game.
That's Walmart's free gaming magazine.
I've never even heard of this.
You go to Walmart, you go to the electronics section, and they've got free gaming magazines
that's
they put
awesome.
out each month.
So that was in there, and then oh my gosh, there's just I knew about some of this stuff, some I didn't. He had picked me up the Disney Infinity Groot, which now that I have this was only one of like 2 that I didn't have. So now I'm just missing Falcon, and I'll have all of them, all the Marvel ones.
Nice.
So he got me Groot. Then there's, hold on, there's so much. Oh my gosh. And I knew about these 2. We look out for these. I've got one for him. So he picked up for me the Masters of the Universe, Evelyn, Mega Constructs, the Faker, Mega Constructs, Masters of the Universe, Stinkor, Tila.
I remember Stinkor.
Fisto. And yep, that's all of those. And I knew about this one too because he texted me and said he found it. He picked up the Morbius Marvel Legends from the Venom Pool line. Yep. He had texted me about this. I said, "Oh yeah, grab that for me." But I forgot. I I didn't even know that these boxes were coming because we're all going to get together in February. And I thought we were just all going to bring our stuff. Like I've got a box of stuff for him. I got a box of stuff for our buddy Dan. Pete, I don't have a box of stuff for you because I don't know if I have much that you'd be interested in, but I do. I've got some duplicate games that we talked about.
There we go. Yeah.
I was going to bring those.
Yeah.
Bring your
Basically, I thought like Dan and I talked like we're just bring everything and we'll just have a big swap meet and just pass this stuff out. So, but Opie went ahead and mailed some of this stuff to me instead. So,
well, I didn't know if you were going to get get up there in February.
Yeah, I'd like to. So yeah, he mailed this stuff, 2 boxes full of stuff. So Morbius, and then the hold on, and then the things that.
And I got to get with you sometime because I got a whole entire long box and a half of comics.
Yeah, speaking of comics, I was surprised that you mailed these.
Well, I had the fun box started, and I just taped it up. So those were the ones originally that
these are the first comics that Opie found for me and picked up pre 2 hours on the phone filling a long box. So those are pretty cool. And then, so all that stuff I knew about. Once I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then
it's been a good week.
Yeah, and then I see the McFarlane toys, the Green Lantern, the evil Green Lantern Batman from the Dark Knight's Metal series. That was in there that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And then, total surprise, my second favorite Iron Man armor of all time, Marvel Legends Silver Centurion Iron Man.
Which was
Walgreens exclusive.
Walgreens exclusive. And I went into my Walgreens in Monticello, which I never, ever go in. I don't even know... Why did I go in it that day? I was just looking for toys. A
sweet tea.
Sweet tea. And I saw it, and I knew that was your favorite armor. And then I'm,
favorite.
The Batman and the Iron Man, I texted him about, and then he just acted like he didn't want them, but I already had the Batman in my cart. And so I thought I'd just get it because, he finds stuff for me all the time. But I just nailed this.
Well, not this much. I mean, I do have a fun box, but it's not this much.
I love that Matt has a second favorite Iron Man armor.
Well, yeah, because there's so many. My favorite is just the classic red and gold, and then this is my second favorite. And then this was the total surprise.
Oh yeah,
the Back to the Future VHS, and then the Batman VHS. I had this as a kid, this exact one, and just wore it out. I watched this so much. And then an animated Daredevil versus Spider-Man, which I saw you showed me at your house, and I think you had it playing on your TV.
And that's the one that's got. I think you were interested in the '60s cartoon, or what was the little?
Oh yeah, the 1966 classic Kingpin featuring Kingpin.
Yeah.
And so I had 4 boxes on my porch. 2 of them were from Opie, filled with all this stuff.
It was a good day for you, man.
It was like Christmas.
You're welcome.
That's
so
awesome.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I have a box full of stuff for you too. I'm not going to mail it because I'm not done filling it. Like I still have more stuff put in there.
I had sold some DVDs on eBay, and I was going to the post office anyway, and I had that stuff in there, so I just decided, hey, let's just drop this stuff off at the post office too, because it's kind of easy with that flat weight shipping boxes, and I just printed the label off. And
yeah, you asked me for my address, and I was like, oh, okay. That's when I asked you, are you coming down? Because I was like, he must want my address because, like you said, you're maybe coming down. So I'm like, well, here's... And then unbeknownst to me, 2 giant fun boxes. He filled them full.
Fun boxes.
So the listeners know, usually around the Super Bowl every year, we all get together at our friend Dan's house for a long weekend.
Up in Illinois, Champaign,
games,
Illinois.
Movies, debauchery, whatever. Maybe this year, if we all decide to go, maybe we could do a live show from.
I was just thinking that
from Dan's.
Yep, live in front of a live studio audience.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Yep.
That'd be funny if we set it up like they were watching. In chairs in the front in his living room or something, and we were like on his dining room table doing or something.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
Like in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
They could be like the laugh track,
Right.
Like anytime we say something funny, like we make a little signal and they all start cracking up.
We just hold up a sign, laugh now, damn it,
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that, like I said, it seems like I always go on a big shopping spree. Like the Spider-Man figures I'd ordered at one point, the Marvel Legends I'd ordered, like all this stuff I order at all different times. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. But they just always all show up at the same time. And because we only do this once a week, I build up a pile of stuff to show off. So I mean, it's not like I go out and just go nuts every day.
Oh, all right. Well, it's time for my pickups,
Whoa!
and we're done
Wait a
because I
minute.
didn't pick up anything.
I was gonna say, is that on the show notes? Because I missed.
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say, what is you surprised?
No, I picked up 0 things this week. Played a lot of World of Warcraft. Played a lot of Genshin Impact. That's pretty much where my free time went. And I've actually started working on the home network rack. So Opie, I'm going to be getting a hold of you and probably doing some before and after photos for the gram and stuff for the podcast, because guys, it is a mess in there. I got like this little area where the builder ended all my network cables, and it looks like a bomb blew
I've
up
seen it.
in there.
I've seen it.
But I have a friend who works in IT and does a lot of network stuff. His name's Opie, and he's going to help me kind of guide me
Yes.
through the way.
Remind
I'm
me
already...
so I can bring my tools.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to do it before then because I got to get this thing done.
Gotcha.
I have our friend Tim's network cable tester.
Okay.
So I was supposed to bring that to HooperCon. So I got to get busy and I got to get this thing done. That's kind of where my focus is going to be over the next couple of weeks.
If Opie helps you, like on FaceTime, you do the thing where you put the iPad on like the stick with the wheels, like the robot, and he can drive around and look at you, and say,
yeah.
But you have to do it like you're a dad. Now, what you need to do is you need to take this cable and trim it off, because if you don't, you're gonna get rats.
Yep.
Yeah. But there will definitely be a few questions that I have as far as like on the patch. I'll message you about it. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I just played a lot of video games, watched some TV. I know Opie finished The Undoing, a show that we had talked about on the show previously. And maybe once Matt finishes it, then we can kind of do like a show review of it.
Yeah, once I get my HBO Max here any day now.
Yep.
For Wonder Woman, like Wonder Woman's the main reason, but Undoing, there's a bunch of shows I want to watch, and Undoing is at the top of that list.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at anythingnewcast. Instagram, you can find us at anythingnewpodcast. I think pretty much from there you can find all of our other links. We don't have to run through everything. We also have a Discord, though, that you can hop onto. I think they can find the link to that probably on Instagram, right?
Yes.
And as always, you can download this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or sometimes people want to watch it on YouTube, or I don't think we stream it to Twitch anymore, right? But it's just on YouTube, Facebook Live.
Yeah,
Instagram?
just kind of.
Are we on Instagram Live?
Say what?
Are we on Instagram Live?
No.
Are we on MySpace Live?
Friendster.
LinkedIn?
I would like to explore Instagram Live, but you have to do something special to be able to stream to Instagram Live from like a PC. Because Instagram Live is all about like mobile and doing it from your phone and stuff. But there is a way to do it from PC that I read about. So I would love to. I'll work on that.
A little homework for Matt.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Okay. Well, let's see. You guys got anything else to talk about before we head out for the week?
I think that's good. Another one in the can.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week for episode 19.
See you guys.
See ya. All right. Craig is gone. Thank you, Facebook, for hanging around.
Yep. Thank you, my YouTube.